Here are the 5 most important skills that a coach or a trainer must have. Number 1 is communication. It's quite literally our job to be able to create clarity for our athletes. So this can come in multiple different forms. Sometimes that communication actually is verbal. Sometimes you have to go demonstrate on the court for the athlete to be able to see it. A lot of my athletes are actually visual learners, so I have to go out there and demonstrate. This helps them be able to see it and being able to translate it to their own game. But it's very important to be able to communicate this verbally as well. You're not always going to be able to demonstrate certain things to every single athlete, so being able to have clear and concise instructions is very important. On the same lines as communication is that you have to have honesty with your athletes. So this communication could be, hey, I don't think you're working as hard as you need to be, and I think you need to be doing a lot more. You doing this is going to allow you to build trust with that athlete, which is more important than anything else. So make sure you're putting a lot of emphasis on the communication phase, because that's so important for you to be able to be a great trainer. Number 2 is having experience. Having experience from your sport is very important, but having experience and understanding of other sports is just as important as yours. Not every single athlete is going to be able to have the resources that you have from your specific sport. Some of my athletes are track runners. Some of my athletes are baseball players. Some of my athletes are football players. So me understanding their sport allows me to be able to translate certain aspects or certain movements a lot better than if it was just basketball things. On the same lines as experience, of course, having experience from their sport is important. Me going through certain situations or having feelings about what I've done before allows me to be able to understand what some of my athletes are going through. One of my athletes gets very frustrated in certain workouts because our workouts can be very difficult, and I challenge his ability to be able to go through adversity. I remember as an athlete myself that I was not able to do that as efficiently and as well as I should have. So being able to see him get frustrated in certain workouts, I have a little bit more understanding and more patience in those situations. Number 3 is psychology of the athlete. You have to understand that these athletes are human. Players want relationships. They don't want just a trainer. To build good relationships, it can't just be transactional. It can't just be, okay, you're paying me to be your trainer and all I'm gonna do is put you on the court and just put you through drills. Sometimes our job is to literally go sit over there in that corner and talk about just their life in general. That aspect is probably more important than anything else. For you to maximize your athletes, you have to understand them as people. That's going to help you understand, okay, does this person like to be yelled at because of how they've been raised? Or it might be they've been coddled a little bit and you might have to be a little bit more gentle with those players. And I think this is one of the most overlooked skills that a coach or a trainer has that needs to be emphasized more. Number 4, adaptability. Learning how to work on the fly is so important as a trainer. When I first started training, it was in 2017. I helped out one of my friends, DJ Evans, with one of his basketball camps. At this point, I had no experience in any basketball training. Obviously, I was playing, but I didn't understand what the nuances of training or anything like that. And he kind of threw me into a fire and made me figure it out. But in that, there was beauty. I had to learn how to work with different age groups. I had to learn what different athletes could do. I had to be able to work on my communication skills. And to this day, I really do think those experiences of me putting myself through situations like that really have helped me out a lot. In our group sessions, all of the stuff that we do is competitive. So understanding how many people are in certain groups or in certain drills is so important for us. But there are gonna be times when an extra person comes into the gym or somebody that you were expecting to be there is not there. So learning how to work on the fly and be adaptable is probably the most important skill that I have learned since being up here. Number 5 is patience. To this day, I'm still working on this myself. You have to look at development as an ongoing process. Not every single athlete is going to be able to progress in the same trajectory. Some athletes sometimes have to take 2 steps back to get to a higher potential. And same thing as a coach or a trainer. You can't expect yourself to be great at communicating if you haven't been able to do it a lot already. Sometimes that experience takes 1, 2, 3 years to be able to actually grasp the concepts that you're trying to learn. Just as much as the athlete needs to have patience in their development, you as a trainer or a coach do as well. Learning and developing in general takes a lot of time. Getting that experience in general takes a lot of time, and I can't tell you the amount of times that I've failed and fell on my face and had to pick myself up. So having understanding of that allows you to go through the process a little bit more gracefully, and over time, that's a lot better. Those are the 5 skills that I think that a coach or a trainer must have. If there's any other skills that you guys think a coach or a trainer must have, comment it below.